Welcome to the Mormon to Medium podcast, where we'll talk about spirituality, the paranormal, religion, and my journey going from Mormon to medium. I'm Nannette Ride. Thanks for listening. Now let's go have some fun.
Don't be afraid. Close your eyes.
Welcome to the Mormon to Medium podcast. We are your hosts, Brad and Nan, and we're here with a really good friend, Christine Tanner, and she has a podcast you need to go check out too. It is the shit behind the show, and oh my gosh, we all can relate.
Yep, we're going to have a great show for everyone today, so we're really glad that you're joining us this week.
And welcome back to the shit behind the show. This week I am joined by Brad and Nan from Mormon to Medium podcast. Super excited. We are going to just collab today and have fun with this. So thanks for joining, guys.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
Are you, though? Are you happy to be here?
I am. Just keep the coffee coming. We'll be good.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for the coffee.
Yours might be cold, yeah?
It's getting there.
Okay.
I'm going to have
There
to.
is more hot in there, and I will make more creamers. So
Okay.
if we have to
sweet.
run back, take 2 minutes.
I'm spoiled here. Nan makes her own creamer.
She's kind of like a Susie homemaker. She's the Susie homemaker of mediums.
Mediums.
She's a medium,
She's just
good
kind
homemaker.
of, yeah, she's a medium homemaker. She's not really high on the list, but
Goals.
goals to be a medium homemaker. Look, we've been looking forward to this podcast for a while. So we actually had recorded an episode a few weeks ago and talk about the shit behind the show. Things just didn't work out. And so sometimes you just have to scrap a project and say, you know what? It wasn't meant to be at that time. We'll do it again later. So thank you for your patience, Christine, for working with us like this. It was so weird how none of the electronics wanted to work.
Thank you. Mine didn't work. Like nothing worked that day.
No,
And we had some great content.
we did.
Yeah, we had so much fun.
Like 2 hours worth probably, right?
And then an hour before that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it didn't, none of it worked out.
No.
Well, that's the problem is we always go to breakfast or lunch or whatever, and all your really good conversation comes out then, and you're like, oh, we should have said that on the show.
We should have a mic with us at all times.
Oh, you mean
Agreed.
like the last hour we've been sitting here? Yes. You guys.
And Nana's been like, guys, come on.
She's like, stop. Will you push record? Just push record.
So a lot of people probably don't know this, but Brad and Christine used to work together. So they became friends that way. And I later, when I was dating Brad, met Christine, and we kind of didn't have a whole lot to do with each other until your shit behind the show started happening. And she
Yes.
just reached out to me one morning and was like, hey, can you pull some cards for me? And I was like, she's talking to me? Like, she only talks to Brad.
It was this crazy feeling of like, Spirit was just like hitting me on the head. You have to reach out to her. You have to reach out to her. Ask her if she does. Because I didn't even know that you did tarot readings. I think I just asked, do you do readings? And it was amazing. Did a great reading for me.
Thank you
What-
for
What
for
was
reaching
amazing
out.
about
Yeah.
it? That's what I want. What was amazing about it?
Well, if I told you, everyone would know.
Yeah.
No, she
so
was-
let's put that out there.
She was spot on with my spirit guide right now, which is my grandmother, that I feel a lot, but knew my nickname that she called me, and just some other insight in life that I'm still waiting for, but calming and comforting.
I love that. That's super cool. It's super cool that you know your spirit guides.
One, we need to discuss this more.
yeah, you could have a couple more.
Yeah, I just know of the one, but I would love to. Ooh, that would be fun. A fun show, right?
Spirit guides?
To talk about.
Oh, yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, the stories.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have lots.
It would be so fun to like step you through a meditation to talk to your spirit guide. That would be really fun.
Can we?
If you want. Yeah.
Oh, let's do that.
Brad's like, wait, what about me? Remember, you don't care about your spirit guides.
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, they're there. They're good.
That's all he needs to know.
Yeah.
It's true. You would think being married to me, because I'm an Aries, so I have to be in control, right? I have to know everything's working and all the things. I even asked him, I'm like, don't you want to know about your spirit team? Don't you want to know who your spirit guides are? He's like, yeah. I'm like, for real? Like, yeah.
They're
Typical
there.
man.
Well, look,
No.
here's my thing. If you overthink it too much, then it ruins the magic, right?
No.
It does.
No.
Let there be some magic and just let things happen the way they're supposed to. If you sit back and go, all right, it's going to work out, it usually does. And if you stress out about it and you put all of your energy into like, oh my God, this is horrible, guess what? It really does continue to be horrible. You get what you put out there.
I agree, but I want to know. I want to know who's out there. Talk to me right now. Help me.
See, I was the same way. I wanted to know because I wanted to know why they were with me and what they brought to the table because, every spirit guide will have different gifts that they can do. So I have a new spirit guide that came in. Funny little thing. I'm not going to tell you everything about her, but I did some shit and I said some words the other day that are not English that I don't know, but she told me to say them and I said them 3 times and she blew some stuff into the air and I was like, holy shit, something's going down. Like,
oh, wow.
They bring their gifts that they have created in their life to you so that you can be taught by them. So they're like your personal tutors. So very, very cool people or spirits or whatever, but they're still people.
So fun. I need them.
So Christine, tell us a little bit about your show.
Well, I can get started why I started it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So I was the typical newly divorced single shit show who got out there and just not only did I bring all of what I call my emotional backpack. You throw all of your stuff in that you've carried through conditioning, through life, through marriage, whatever, childhood. So I had all of that because my childhood was colorful. Then, the marriage and the being cheated on and just the stuff. So I get out in the single world and I'm like, ooh, boys, attention. Did it all wrong.
Well, let me ask you this. How old were you when you got married?
I was 19.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense, right?
Yeah. Well, I was
culture?
18. How old were you, Nan?
16.
16.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were all young, married folks from Mormon backgrounds.
Yes. And then having children young, like I was being a mom when everyone else was going to college and partying.
Right.
And so, get divorced. And all of a sudden I'm pretty, all these guys. And I get out there and I date them all. And I'm just like, as I'm going along, I'm spreading my traumas out to everyone else. I had no business dating. I would date guys that were ready for marriage. And I would just, 3 to 6 months, I'm like, oh, I'm gone by. And didn't even give a shit about their feelings or anything. It was just like, I'm out.
That's so cold.
I know. I didn't realize it at the time. I wasn't on purpose, but
I have a question though.
Mm-hmm.
You said guys that were ready for marriage. Is that even really a thing? Because they've got their backpacks too, right? And most guys don't do their healing as quickly as girls do. So I'm just wondering, were they just wanting somebody to come and be toxic with them?
yes, wanting marriage, I should say.
Okay, so not
Wanting
ready,
marriage.
but wanting marriage. Okay.
And I was not even, that was not even a word in my vocabulary. I was like, oh, hell no, never again. Like, I was a mess.
Well, and after you've been through a divorce and it's messy, that is the last thing you want. That is the last thing you're looking for. You're like, nope, that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And mine was pretty gross. So then I get remarried, and on our honeymoon, he beat the shit out of me.
Whoa.
And so what does that tell me? Like, girlfriend, you've got to pull your shit together and do some work on yourself and meet this guy on a dating app. And we just, decided we're just buddies. And he's like, you should really share your stuff with people. It could help them.
Do you say your stuff or your shit? You've got a lot of shit, Christine.
I've got a lot of shit.
You should share this shit.
All of this shit in my backpack. And people liked it. But the one thing that I learned through all of this is they like it because they can relate, and they get something from it because it's like almost like, okay, she's already carved this path the wrong way. I'm going to take the other one the right way and just follow where she tells me to go.
If only people did that. I think humans by nature love to learn things the hard way. We have to learn it ourselves.
I'm not the only one?
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
you're not.
Good.
Yeah, no.
Vicarious learning it's a great concept, but it's so seldom actually done.
Well, I would like to think some do it differently. But yeah, that's how I got started. And then I started went on my healing journey, began it about that point. It was like, to stop. You're going to keep this pattern going and attracting these men. I am still trying to get this down, by the way. I don't feel like I have perfected it yet. So taking a step back again, trying to figure it out. But
Well, Christine, can I ask you a question? So you brought up getting married and going on your honeymoon,
Mhm.
and he was abusive. And I don't want to talk about something that's hurtful to you. So if,
oh,
you know,
you
it's,
know me.
if it,
Fine.
okay, but if it's ugly or uncomfortable, raise your hand, ring the bell, whatever. Go to your safe place and cry. You get it. But why do you think that happened? Did you just settle? You were like, hey, I need companionship. I need a relationship. What drove you to pick that person? Or was he not that person while you were dating?
So he was not while we were dating. Now, other people, Brad, saw red flags.
Oh, you told her?
Oh,
Yes, he did. And yeah, tried to warn me, but I was like, but he was a provider. And backstory, and this is where you can relate. He had recently lost his wife and had her daughters that he was still raising, and they called me second mom.
Hmm.
And he's like, he used that. They just want a mom, and she wanted you to be there for them because they didn't have a relationship with their dad, their biological dad. And he knew, I had known him for 12 years. He knew I had a kind heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never fully attracted to him or in it for the marriage. It was more for all of the kids. He was a great stepdad to all of them. And I loved those girls. But was he physically abusive? No. Was he verbally even? No. He was like, we didn't really fight. Just something snapped on the honeymoon in Hawaii. And then later I found out he had beat his wife for years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But was I in a place to even be remarried? No. Like that would have been a great time to take that 2 years and just do my work, and discover who I am. But I didn't even realize that was a thing at that time. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. I think a lot of people don't realize that when you get divorced, that it's a loss. And so you have to grieve that loss
Mm-hmm.
and go through all of the feelings, all of the emotions that provides. And if you skip that and just start dating again, it's the rebound effect.
Yeah.
And it's never the right guy ever. And it's usually the same vibration as what you just left.
Right.
So it's like, you're not getting anything any better, but you never know until you actually see that in hindsight, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing it now. And I try to notice I could tell you guys right now, I could sit here and you're all going to shake your head and say I'm full of shit. I could sit here and say, oh yeah, and I get it now and I understand it now. But as you all know in this room, I recently just got out of something that was an abusive cycle again.
Yeah. But you've got your feet
And
underneath you.
I've got
again.
both feet under
Yeah.
me again. He's never going to let that one go.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So I'm trying to back to the drawing board, right? And that's what I do.
So if you were to talk to people and say, hey, look, watch for these red flags, what would those be? What would that look like to someone who might be in that situation you were in? How would you help them avoid that?
You know what? I have learned the best way to know and the most accurate is follow your feelings and your gut. Girls, we are not being crazy if a guy says something to us and it feels off and your nervous system starts to go a little crazy and your stomach starts turning and they're saying, oh, you're full of shit. No, you're not. No. something is telling you something is off. If you feel that at all, pay attention to that. That's a red flag. And that's the
Amen.
best way.
Yep.
Is just listening to that and not letting, and it can be women too, right? Men and women can both be abusive. Not letting them tell you like, oh, it's all you, you're just crazy. Because you will find out later that you're actually not fucking crazy. Like, right?
Yeah.
The truth always comes out. And I'm very grateful for this last relationship though, because there were good things that I have taken from that, but also it triggered me a lot. And that is so important in your healing, because I have learned to be triggered and sit with that and sit with my emotion and my nervous system going crazy, and I can regulate myself now. I don't need them to come to me and do it for me, but I've learned how to do it myself. And I also understand, okay, this is something that I need to address. I'm being triggered. And that was great for my healing.
I love that. Well, that's like Nan always says, if you can feel it, you can heal it. So if you get triggered,
that.
that's an opportunity to heal and grow, right?
Right. And I just barely learned something, by the way. I know that you have layers of trauma in your life.
Like an onion.
Like an onion. But the layers of trauma, if you were to, put little dots across a piece of paper and then draw the lines from trauma to trauma to trauma, and it can be, childhood abuse to being chased by a dog. But I mean, trauma, anytime the body has had to go into fight or flight, trauma, trauma upon trauma upon trauma, right? And they all have a vibration. When you have one of those triggers, the trigger, as you know, as you just pretty much said, is an invitation to heal, right? The body is saying, I need you to look at this. I need you to sit with this. But a lot of times people don't like to sit in the shit. They don't like to look at it. They don't like to feel it. And we have to feel it and let it pass through us. But the key is letting it go, body, mind, and soul. But what I learned is those little dots of each trauma, if you have a trigger and one goes off, guess what? It's not just the one going off. It's all of them at once going off. And that's why you feel so shitty, because it's all of the belief systems, all of the emotions from all of them together that are going off and making it so that you absolutely cannot cope. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to have to sit in this for a couple of days. Yeah. Or do you know what I mean? That's why it takes so long to process it in your mind so that you can get ready to let go of it with your soul and letting your body feel safe again. But I thought it was really interesting because I had never thought of trauma like that at all.
That is interesting.
It literally...
Well, it's like a spider web. It just kind of pings all the way across the web, right?
Oh, totally.
And that does make sense because I will shake.
Yes.
My nervous system just goes insane and I have to take a minute and pull myself out of the situation and just sit with that and breathe through it.
Yes.
And it is difficult, but the more I've done that, it is getting easier. But I've also learned that along with those triggers comes the intuitive nature of like, something's not right here. This is a red flag.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
A huge warning. And so that's something that I've learned recently about myself. And it feels good to feel like, okay, this is like light years from where I was when I first got divorced years ago. I'm leveling up. But damn it, I'm ready to not be triggered like that anymore. Like, I am done.
I love that you're willing to sit with it, though, because so many people, it's uncomfortable and they don't want to sit with it. And so they'll, please don't take this wrong, but they'll numb it with a pill, or they'll numb it by taking something that'll make them sleep, or alcohol or whatever. But they'll numb it so they don't have to feel it. But the problem is when that wears off, it's still there, waiting for you. Like this little tiny monster. And it's like, no, you still get to look at this. You can numb me for years. I don't give a shit because you're still going to feel it when you come out of this shit. Right. So it's like, if you realize that this is part of the journey. Yeah. I love that you sit with it because so many people are too afraid or it's just too uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable, but again, there's a piece that comes with it that like, okay, each time it's getting easier. And I work on doing breath work and my own ways of healing. And each time I do that also, I feel like I've healed a lot and it's just getting easier and easier. The fight or flight is still there, but again, I can calm myself down quicker and address it and heal it. And so, yeah, I absolutely love that. And really, honestly, you can read all the books, you can go to therapy, but you're not going to fully heal until you have to practice it, until you have to really apply what you've learned and discover exactly, well, one, we can say all day long, well, this triggers me. How do you know until it does? You know,
Right.
there are things that trigger me that I'm like, holy shit. And I have to dive into why, you know, where did this come from? So yeah, I'm just the poster child for healing and pain.
But you know what? We should all be our own poster child for healing, though, right? We should all be doing that anyway. So yeah, that's awesome. Good for you.
Warrior.
Good for you
Warrior.
sitting
Thank
in
you.
the shit.
Well, I mean, I did have to get my ass kicked first.
You're stubborn. We know it. It's fine.
Universe is like, fine, here's a black eye. No.
Oh my God damn it again.
If I have to make you listen this way, I will.
I learned the hard way. No.
Sometimes the hard way is good.
Bradley
Brad-
J. Zeman.
What?
I tried to say it for her. She
You two perverted ladies.
Yeah, we hang out with you.
That was a very, very benign comment that you guys just took the wrong place.
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sure.
because you're so innocent.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone can realize this, but I am being picked on.
Yeah, you are the only man in the room.
Yeah. It's very
So
uncomfortable.
sad.
He's actually a lesbian, but whatever.
Oh,
Pseudo masculinity.
I need a t-shirt.
Oh my God. Yes.
And it has to be hot pink.
Yeah. Pseudo masculinity. So Christine got ghosted by a guy.
I did.
She had some great conversations, but Christine's kind of a smartass. And well, I should let you tell the story. So tell us about pseudo masculinity, Christine.
Oh, so you know, someone was trying to really honestly, I think he was trying to get in my pants. And he tried to play the whole energy healer, you know, ooh, I'm gonna get to her this way. He even used Deadpool. Like,
What?
how rude is that? And when he figured out I wasn't that girl, he ghosted me, but he posted something on Facebook where he said something along the effect of men are turning women into lesbians these days. And so I commented and I said, hashtag pseudo masculinity. Man, bro, text me right away. And he's like, did you just say I have no balls and pseudo masculinity? And he was so offended. And
Yeah, but he had to Google what that
he
meant.
had to Google it. And it was only on Urban Dictionary. I'm like, of course, because I made it up. Like, I didn't know it was an actual term. Okay, bro.
Now,
yeah.
Christine has a whole Wikipedia page on it.
You see my face.
It's so crazy how, like, oh, our energy just vibes. I can feel a connection between you and I. We've definitely known each other so many lifetimes.
Oh,
Like,
I've had that before.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, women fall for that?
No.
But it's been a while since I've had someone do this.
Someone's fallen for
Well,
it, or else
someone
they would
is.
stop doing it.
I know.
To give it up. I thought he was cool. I really did. I love the bantering. You know, I am a smart ass. It was fun. But I did notice, and I felt his energy. I can feel people's energy even over the phone, text.
See, now
and I
you're
felt
doing
it
what
pull
he did.
away.
I can totally feel your energy.
Wait, could this work for me? I need to find a
Do you
guy
know
that
what?
this will work with.
Yeah, that's your new angle, Christine.
Sweet.
Yeah, next time you go to the club, just be like, I can totally feel this energy between us. I could feel it across the room, and you just have this aura about
I was
you.
just going to say there are. And ooh, is that my name?
And-
I see my name.
Oh,
Using
shit. Yeah, totally use it.
it.
You're welcome.
I'll report back.
Yeah, return and report.
Gosh. Oh, you can live vicariously through me. It's fine.
Thank you. You know, honestly, I would not want to live through the dating scene again.
I'm so over it.
Yeah, I don't envy you at all. It was one of those times where, because right after the divorce, I was like, oh shit, you know, and for a long time, I didn't want anything to do with anyone else. And then I started dating. I'm like, kind of like you. I'm like, wait a minute, like women like me. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to have fun and do whatever. But it was,
Have a lot of sex, you mean?
no,
Yeah.
that's not
Were
what
you
I
a
said.
dirty little whore.
He was a
No,
hoe bag.
no.
Yeah, he slept around all the time.
Oh
One
my
night stands
God.
all the time. Just bang, bang, bang. Done.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
the biggest slut in like
And
the Tri-City.
he used to call me hoe for show.
No, you were Tinder Tanner.
And Tinder Tanner. I did try Tinder back then. It was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. My gosh. Yeah, I've known Christine as long as I've known Nan. That's kind of crazy.
But you dated Christine before you dated me.
We went on a date and it just
We were more like,
yeah,
House.
okay. This is like
So-
a sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And then it was just like, well, we can be office husband, wife, and
Yep.
talk about all of our dating.
Oh
and-
no, when I started dating him, I hated that.
You
Y-
did?
Yeah, I was like, no.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh yeah, my
My work spouse.
My work
I gave him
spouse.
so much shit about it.
she's like, your work spouse?
I'm like, no.
Really?
How about no? Because you did take her on a date. I'm like, did you kiss her? He goes, well, yeah.
We did?
Exactly. That's how memorable it was.
He was like, ooh, no, she's like my sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yes, we very much were.
But I still love
Like that.
teasing him. It was way fun to tease him.
Rich was my work spouse too, so I'm like, well, there's
And
nothing,
I
no
know,
harm
I-
there
That's why I thought you were gay.
because Rich was my work spouse.
Well, he's the one that I would go to
Oh shit!
go into work on Monday, and everyone, okay, Christine, tell us about your weekend. And I was like, so Brad, there's this guy, and he's like, oh my God, really? Christine, are you that dumb?
Wait. Okay, there was a time where she dated like 3 guys who had the same name, like in a row.
Serious?
Oh, I recycled names?
Yes.
Yes.
She totally would use the same name, and I'm pretty sure it was so she didn't say the wrong name.
I almost choked on my coffee.
This is new Greg. That's old Greg. Now, which Greg are we on now? This is Greg 3.0.
I really. Let's see, how many Codys? How many?
Count them up.
I don't want to.
That's funny.
Right.
And I was the relationship girl too. So it was like I would meet a guy and just like so codependent. And I would jump into a relationship 3 to 6 months later. I'm in another one. And I just kept doing that. And yeah, I was like,
That's exhausting.
it was. It was. But I never took the time to like sit with myself. It was just go, go, go. Like date. And then I was going
So
through
you
a bunch
didn't
of other
know
stuff.
yourself well enough to know what you wanted. So
Not
you
at
were
all.
just keeping busy.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us on this first episode of our collaboration between the Mormon to Medium podcast and the shit behind the show. Make sure to tune in next week for more juicy details about Christine's dating life and mine and Nan's. It should be a lot of fun. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure to like and subscribe and leave us a positive review. It really helps us out with getting visibility for the show. Thanks a ton, everybody. We'll see you on the other side of the veil.